Welcome everybody to the Fox 3 Phoenix channel. I'm your host Govinator, and if you're paying attention, there's a new one today. We are in this beautiful new airplane. For me it's new, for everybody else it's not. This is the Mirage 2000. I love the Delta Wing. And I could have chose some other Gen 4 fighters. This is the first one on the channel that we are going to be exploring. I'm just tired, honestly, of getting my butt kicked by some F-15s, F-16s, MiG-29s, and Su-27s. I need something to be able to fight them. And I actually very much enjoy flying the Mirage F1, so I was like, let's go meet its, bigger brother, basically the newer version of it. And that is the Mirage 2000. So I wanted to, take a look at it. It's supposed to be a wonderful dogfighter, and that's what I want to use it for Fox 2's fights, gunfights, and even yes, the BVR. Although I understand it doesn't have Fox 3 capabilities, so yeah, it kind of stinks. But the last two airplanes I learned were the A-10 Type 2C and the F4 Phantom, and they are incredibly complex airplanes. And I needed something that was a little easier, because the next plane I honestly wanted to learn was the F-14, but I just couldn't do three super difficult planes in a row. So instead, I chose the Mirage 2000, and let's get started. So first things first, when you're in this plane, gotta set your parking brake. From there, we're gonna go close the canopy. Get our mirror set up. Just barely see me there. And then for this thing, I've got it set up for my HOTAS, so it automatically seals, but normally you'd have to seal the canopy and everything. Then from there, we're going to go turn on our battery. Get that thing going. Then from there, we're going to do both of our boost pumps. And then, oops, no, I want that up. Sorry. Alright, I want that up. And then from there, we're going to go take this cover, press the button, and wait for our RPMs to come up. Okay. There we go. Needed to make sure my fuel cutoff switch wasn't going. So once we get to 10% there, we'll put the throttle into the idle position and let it continue to come up in RPMs. So you can see our RPMs are right there. It's really percent throttle. Alright, then from there we're going to go put our autopilot system on. Alright, it's going to go run through a little bit of a diagnostics and, run through its own stuff. And then from there, we're going to turn on all of our interior lights. Okay, that's all looking good. And then let's turn on INS to nav. Sorry, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but we turn the INS on to nav. Alright, this is where you would normally go into your INS alignment, but I'm not messing with all that. We've got it set to working already. So if you're not doing INS stuff, then you'll move over here and you'll turn on your ECM, RWR, and your there you go, yeah, MWS. Sometimes you gotta zoom in, it's little controls. I have it set up for the English version. And obviously that's your electronic countermeasures, your radar warning system, and your missile warning system. Next thing I want to do is get our jammer switch set to semi-automatic. There are several programs here. I prefer program 5 because that's just one chaff and one flare. I like doing it very manually, but lots of people do different programs. You know, 6 chaff, 3 flare, that's the panic mode button. But you can set it up so it's just chaff or just flare, whatever you want to do, but you have to memorize the program switches, which are on the kneeboard, and you can go read that if you want to go dive into it. So anyways, after that we're going to go set up our electronic warfare suite. We're going to go put that on square. Alright, and then the next step is we're going to go do our IFF to sect. Sorry, I meant to push the pitot heat button forward. Then we're going to turn on the audio warning switch and the emergency hydraulics. I'm going to hit this button just to calm down the switch because, you know, as much as we love those Mirage noises, we don't want to hear that the whole time. So, anyway, let's go turn our HUD on. You can hear everything, this thing's whirring in the background, fans running. And soon we should have a HUD. And let's go ahead and turn our radar screen on. Alright. So now in, 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, you guys should start to see these things. Alright, and then let's go over here. Autopilot's looking good. Let's turn that thing off. And then turn on... Alright, that's our flight controls test switch, so it's going to run its own diagnostics program to make sure everything's running well. And then from there, we're going to go turn our radar onto standby. And by standby, I meant warm up. It's got to warm up before you can go to standby. As you can see, we have a HUD now, and we have our radar screen. Okay, yes. Come on. Just let it run through its system here. Anyways, from here, I'm going to go turn on the exterior lights. Come on, Mirage, stop it. That's our landing lights, anti-collision, navigation, and our formation lights. So that's going. And we're going to go down here and we're going to go turn our radio on. And then the backup radio on as well. And then make sure, we would normally, if you have a bunch of bombs and stuff, you turn your flight control systems to set it up to charges, and that's because it'll limit how much you can input in your flight control. So if you have heavy bombs on your wings, you won't rip your own wings off. We are totally clean, as you can see there, so that's not something that we have to go worry about. So let's go look at the FCS test. Stand by. It's got to go run through its test, and we'll check in with you in just a second. Alright. Just needed to cycle through it and hit the FBW reset button there. And that turned all our lights off so that we are now happy and ready to go. Alright, now that we have all of that ready to go, let's go check our parking brake. Put it off. As you can see, all the lights are totally off there. I already removed the wheel chocks. So let's begin to give it a little bit of power and start taxiing. And I will see you guys in part 2 of this video, where we actually take off and do our first flight. Anyways, this is your host, Governor of the Fox 3 Phoenix channel, and I will see you very soon for first flight and impressions. Alright guys, we'll check in then.